Mike Dell's World number 287 for November 27th, 2017.
This is Mike Dell's World, because the rest of us are just living in it.
And that was, of course, Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. I still get a kick out of that. Yep, I know. I'm a geek. So, happy Monday. Not much change since yesterday. And like I said, this daily stuff, I've got to admit, has been easier this time, but it's still, not super easy to carve out the time to do a proper episode. So I've been doing a lot of these little mini episodes and playing some music and all that good stuff, but it's been, nice to, get back into the swing of things. I'd love to do these more often, and I think I will probably in the future do these more often. At least a couple times a month, I would think, maybe 4 times a month. Who knows? Just flip on the mic, talk about whatever's going on. Today it's a whopping 35 degrees and kind of cloudy here, but that's typical for November here in Traverse City, Michigan. And I got most of the winter stuff done. I did end up getting the air conditioner out of the window. We don't have central air in this old log cabin, so we put window air conditioners in, one in the bedroom and one in the kitchen. And that cools the whole house pretty well when needed. Of course, we don't need it here all the time. Actually, you need it more than you would think, but not like, someplace else where it's hot all the time. But I did end up leaving the one in the bedroom window, and we bought a cover for it and did some that plastic shrink wrap stuff over the window, on the inside, and plus insulated it real well on the outside and put the cover on it. So that'll be nice this spring when it gets warm and we don't have the other air conditioner in. At least this one will knock it down in the bedroom where it's needed. And hopefully I'll have my office done by then, and that's down in the basement, which doesn't require air conditioning. It stays pretty cool down there, all year round without air conditioning. So that's kind of nice. Hopefully I'll have that done, and the new studio / office / ham shack / whatever built. So looking forward to that. Got to put in a sump pump. Still haven't done that, but it's in the works. So hopefully get that done before it is necessary this spring when the big melt happens. Actually had a company that advertises an awful lot on television around here, Basement Systems of Michigan, or I think that's what it's called. I don't even remember now. But anyway, they gave me a quote on the sump pump if they were to do it. Of course, they did it in such a way where there was literally 3 backups to the backup. There was the regular sump pump, then there was a backup sump pump, and then the backup one also ran on a battery pack, which was really just a couple of deep cycle batteries sitting there. And, all that installed and everything was something like $3,500. Well, I paid about that much last year to put the furnace in. So I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. Just have to figure out how I'm going to bust through the concrete floor. That ought to be interesting. I think I can rent a jackhammer for a couple hours and get the hole dug. That's going to be the hard part. All the the plumbing and putting in a pump, no big deal. I don't need much. I mean, we've lived here for good 15 years anyway, and never needed a sump pump. I mean, at the occasional flooding in the basement, where I use just a trash pump, it's called, just a utility pump. Only problem is they had to go down there and pump it out every so often, And with this, really, I just need a little low spot with a pump that turns itself on and off. So I don't know as I really need all that emergency backup stuff. And, we don't get enough flooding in here to justify that. So I'm going to spend a whole lot less money. I think grand total, I could probably do the whole job for $500. Okay, it won't be as professional and it won't be as automatic, but I think it'll do. Oh, I don't know. Sump pumps, what a subject for a podcast, right? But that's what's on my mind, or at least part of what's on my mind. Of course, the other part of what's on my mind is healthcare insurance. Our company's going through changing up the healthcare, and it's there's a lot of hassle and paperwork. I won't go into any great detail, but man, oh man, they just make it so darn complicated. I'm definitely not one that would go for socialized medicine, but after all the hassle I've seen the company go through and the hassle it puts on us that have to use the system, on top of that with the Affordable Care Act, which is ironically named, it's just too complicated. I don't understand why it needs to be so hard to do. I guess, paying the money, I get it. It costs money and all that. That I'm not too worried about. It's just the whole idea that you gotta dot those I's and cross those T's and put in paperwork with the government, put in paperwork over here and over there and backwards and forwards, and it's just a lot of hassle. And it just seems that when the government, any government, gets involved with something, they make it more complicated. If the government took it over completely, that's one thing. Or if the government would just stay the hell out of it, that's another thing. But this in-between stuff, it's something else. Like I said, it's not a politicky thing. It's a wow, those of us that actually have to use the system, it's a real pain in the rear. So, oh well, we'll see how this all works out. Looks like it's going to be the first of the year before we get it all settled here, which is fine because I'm covered, and at least until then, maybe even after, with the plan that I've been doing myself, which is, like I said, which was hassle enough. And on top of that, I'm getting spammed by the government. I'm sure those of you in the U.S. Are getting all these healthcare.gov emails say, oh, your application this, your application that, regardless of whether you're on that system or not. It's kind of ridiculous. Just the amount of effort that has to go into it and the amount of complication. I mean, you can't just get a sheet of paper that says, okay, for this much money, we'll pay for this, and this, and you pay this much. You just can't get that anywhere. Whether you do it yourself, through a company, through the government, through anything. And really, that's all we want to know. We can deal with the rest of it. It's just, who does what. And, anymore, everything costs damn much. And I look at my dentist, okay? And, my dentist, he's a good guy and all, but, all right, I go in there and I say, hey, I got a toothache. Well, my dentist will immediately refer me to an endologist, whatever, the guy that does root canals. Okay, so I go over there, get evaluated by the root canal guy, spend $1,000 over there getting a root canal, and then I got to spend X number of dollars, whatever it is, for a crown or whatever for that tooth. Like I said, this isn't currently going on. It's just as an example. Or say, like I had a cracked tooth several years ago. And I went into my dentist. I said, hey, this tooth is cracked in half. It's the one that's way in the back. I don't really care. Let's just get rid of it. It hurts like hell. Whatever. And he had to send me to an oral surgeon to have x-rays done and then have them pull the tooth. I'm like, well, what does the dentist do nowadays? By himself. Isn't there dentists out there that just kind of sort of do everything? I mean, there really ought to be. Because, every time you walk into an office, it's, a couple $100 minimum. Dental insurance is not that good. It doesn't matter whose dental insurance you're on. It's never that good. And I don't mind paying. It's just, let's just get it all done in one place rather than having to go here, go there, go some other place, so on and so forth. And it's the same thing with anything medical. You got to go here, you got to go there, you got to see this specialist, got to see that specialist. I'm beginning to think it's kind of a racket. But as I get older, it is what it is. So, anyway, enough soapboxing. This was a little longer episode than I thought I was going to do today. I really didn't plan on anything. And looks like we got, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, and we'll be done with National Podcast Posting Month. And I've enjoyed it, actually, so that's good. Like I said, this daily stuff is sort of a grind, but not bad at all. And I suppose I could probably keep this up. I had been debating back and forth, as you know, whether I'm going to keep going on till 300. I probably won't. I'll probably step up the pace a little bit and try to get to 300 by the end of December. So how about that? We'll do the 300th show releasing on New Year's Day. That's my new plan. So New Year's Day, I'll release episode 300, and sometime between now and the end of December, I will get in those other 10 episodes, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more put together since I'll have to do one every 3 days instead of every 1 day. And that'll be fine. That'll be fine. I hope you guys enjoy this. And like I said, we'll get back to the normal schedule. And I think I'm going to skip it next year. I don't know. Or I'll put it on a different feed. Maybe I'll do a fast food history for NaPodPoMo and go through 30 fast food places or talk about 30 different fast food histories. This week on fast food history, on Friday, I'm going to be putting out the episode about White Castle. Love them or hate them. White Castle is, people either love them or they hate them or they never heard of them. One of the three. But White Castle is the oldest fast food hamburger place in the United States. Now that's not counting some of the, one-off places that have hamburgers or even small chains, but this is the first big national one. It was, even not national, they're kind of regional, Northeast, Midwest, and one in Las Vegas, I understand. So, but anyway, you'll hear all about that on Fast Food History on Friday, and I look forward to the episode on Thursday, which will be 290, which will be the end of the NaPodPoMo thing. And like I said, I think my new plan is episode 300 on New Year's Day and 10 between the end of November and the end of December. So I'll do 10 in December and then, or 9 in December. We'll do the 10th one on the 1st of 2018. So and then we'll see where it goes from there. What do you guys think? I haven't heard anything from anybody, so give me some feedback here. I know you're listening. I've been counting the downloads. So anyway, catch me tomorrow.